Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of YouTube Becoming a Cop. And Rob is already cracking up, man. Rob, what's happening, man?
You're funny, Ken.
So we had some technical difficulties, but we are back here. We found out that Rob is still alive. Last week,
Barely.
I'm going to guess our viewership went down last week because Rob was missing.
Oh, absolutely.
And Ken's been saying that Rob's lagging tonight. I don't know.
Rob is like, no, it looks good now, man. Looks
All
good.
right, good.
So very happy about that. Donovan, how are you, man?
Hey, I'm great as always.
As always?
As always. I'm always great.
God, did you have some kind of there wasn't a torch run or anything. There was some
There was
a torch run.
Yeah.
For Special Olympics or
so I journeyed. I made the 1,000-mile drive up to Seattle. The final leg for the USA Games was in Seattle on Friday. It's there's an East Coast team working its way across the U.S. West Coast team. They're going to meet in Minneapolis on the 15th of June, where I meet up with everyone. So next Monday, a week from today, we all meet up, and we're going to be running the torch around Minnesota, preparing for the USA Games. So it's going to be a good time.
Have fun in Minnesota.
Minnesota.
I'll stay quiet on that.
Minnesota. Well, it's good. That's going to be always a good time for you. You're always involved in that, so that's I like that a lot. Rob, how is all the training going?
It's been fun, interesting. I'll just leave it at that. Yeah, it's home stretch. Only a couple weeks left.
And you look in pretty good, happy spirits and all that. So it must be going well.
Because there's a couple weeks left. That's why.
He must not have failed out yet.
No, knock on wood.
Well, let's see here. If you have, look at this.
Like that? I put that in there. That was me.
If you have any questions, get them posted in the comments. That's right. We always go live, so we can answer your questions. And if you have questions that are off topic, let us know. We'll answer those too. So let's get started. We are going to talk about just a second.
Speaking of Minneapolis, Minnesota.
I was just thinking that. Yeah, nice little segue.
What did I miss there?
City politics. Come on.
Come on, Ken.
Oh, it's Minneapolis. That's right.
Do you not remember what happened over there?
Wow.
I do. I happen to remember. I was trying to get these graphics up, so you know what I'm saying here, guys. We're going to talk about what does city politics actually mean, how they affect hiring and policing in certain cities. We're going to talk about all kinds of stuff tonight. In light of the recent election results in the city of Los Angeles.
Are they actually final yet? I heard they're still counting.
They get to count for like 30 days, don't they?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
They're stupid. The voting system in California is kind of whack. You know what's funny is that way back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, there was no computers, to speak of for voting and things like that. And you could go vote on paper in person for the most part and once the polls closed at 8, you knew who was everybody. Now technology has made it so it's slower.
I don't think it's necessarily technology.
Yeah, timeout. That's not technology.
No.
That's lazy Americans who don't want to go to the poll. Oh, send me my ballot so I can just mail it in and I don't have to be inconvenienced to vote.
Yeah. I mean, come on, man. We all used to go vote. We used to go stand in line at the polling place, punch our Chad, whatever those Chads or something, whatever.
The hanging Chad.
And we knew immediately that night who the president was, who the governor was. And now it takes, 30 days to get the final results in California.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
That's
mean,
crazy.
it's all because of the mail-in ballots. It's like, or if you want to think of it that way, it's yeah.
It is.
It's like,
And
oh, we gotta.
there's no integrity now because of the mail-in ballots, even though
Right.
everyone says, oh, there's nothing that, says that it's not an integrity issue. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got my son's ballot mailed to my house. I don't know how many times up in Washington. I threw it out. I wasn't going to vote for him,
Yeah.
but he wasn't even living in the state anymore. And they kept sending him a
I
ballot.
remember a buddy of mine. I was helping him sell his house. This was years ago, and he got like, I think it was around election time or something. He got like 15 ballots mailed to his house, and he's like, it was basically him, his wife, and a couple of kids, and he's like, why do I have all these ballots coming?
Yeah. And how does this affect? How do the elections affect policing and recruiting and all that stuff? We're going to talk about that tonight because it absolutely does. And how the direction of the politicians and politics and everything is going to be the direction of the police department, and it really is a big deal because almost every problem that you have in policing has to do with politicians.
Oh, yeah.
And what happens if you just appoint a police chief, let the police chief run the department and stuff? But that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. Even in Washington State, when you have elected sheriffs and the politician, tell us about the how an elected position of sheriff, Donovan, in Washington State has been affected by recent legislation.
Oh, well, yeah. So what they're doing now, and thankfully, a court has put this on hold. However, what they have put is that if you want to run for the office of sheriff, you need to submit to a background investigation like every other officer. Now, I'm kind of torn on that one, Ken. I'm going to tell you, I'm a little torn on that. I get it's an elected position. However, they have to be a commissioned sworn officer who has access to NCIC, CJIS, and all that stuff. Why does it? Maybe after they win the election, they should go through a background investigation. I don't know, but there's something missing there. So it's tough. And here comes Lauren with her.
Oh,
I was waiting for that.
you
I
didn't
like
think
that.
you could get away scot-free.
I like that. I like that, Lauren. You're right. They did vote for him.
Somebody probably voted for me back in California too. I wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised.
Yep. But I mean, it's a unique situation going in to be a sheriff, and talking to people from other states. A lot of states, if you're going to be a police chief, you have to be commissioned. Some states you don't. If you become a police chief, you don't have to become commissioned. Then you just don't enforce the law. You just run the department. So I don't know. There's a lot going on. I could talk a lot about sheriffs that have been elected in Washington State with no police experience and go to the academy, and the experiences I had with them will not go into that. But it's scary both ways right now. So, yeah.
Well, in Washington State, they just passed legislation that even though sheriffs, the one that you're talking about that's been put on hold by the courts, even though they've been elected as a sheriff in an election by the people.
Oh, the removal.
Tell us about that.
The removal. So, yeah. So, and I believe has that been put on hold too, Ken?
I think that's the one that's been put on hold. Yeah.
No, the background check one has been put on hold.
Oh, I thought it was the other one. Okay.
So I don't know if they both have been put on hold, but what they're looking at is that instead of being left up to the voters, if a sheriff is elected into a position, they are now saying that they're going to have a committee, I think it is, put together that would be able to remove a sheriff from office if they aren't, I guess, doing the bidding of what
You know where they got that idea from, right?
Yep.
Nowhere.
Yeah.
LA County Board of Supervisors.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Because Villanueva was elected sheriff for LA County sheriffs, and then technically, if you're an elected official, you have to a recall. But LA County Board of Supervisors voted, I think it was unanimous, to remove him, and they did, even though everyone was saying it was illegal.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And the Board of Supervisors is what 99% liberal politicians too.
Probably. It's
So
LA County,
and they didn't.
so
So if you don't like an elected official, you can just pass legislation to remove them. That's
Yeah.
how that works.
Right.
So does city politics affect hiring and how the police culture and morale and all that kind of stuff? So you've got council priorities, you've got mayoral agendas, and budget control, all controlled by politicians.
Mhm.
So we saw this in 2020, the demise of LAPD alone. Not to mention all these other agencies around the country during 2020, BLM, and all that kind of stuff. The big thing was all the liberal politicians were saying, defund the police. And now, just as a thumbnail picture of how this affected police departments, in 2020, LAPD had 10,000 officers. Now they're down
Really?
to what, 8,500?
less than
Seattle,
that now.
yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. And Donovan, from 2020 to current, Seattle was they lost what, 750 officers or something like that?
Yeah, they lost a huge chunk. It was miserable, and if you watch politics as a recruiter, you know where to start recruiting.
Yeah.
And that's what we did in 2020 and 2021. We watched politics, we watched what was going on, and we knew where to shove our recruiting efforts to get lateral police officers, which worked out to our benefit.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it, but just alone, the way that the way this works as far as morale goes is that I'm going to use 2020 as a base for what we're talking about, how this works. Is that went into hyperspeed in 2020 with all that stuff going on and the demonization of police officers. So, what happened was the public, with all the rioting and the protests and everything, then it turned the tide against police. So then the politicians get involved and they start defunding the police because of all of this. And it caught in the middle are the police. And so moving forward to 2026, they haven't been able to recover for recruitment. And now recruitment is in the toilet nationwide starting in 2020. So does politics affect police departments? So let's talk about, there's several mayors around the country. I can think of Minneapolis with that knucklehead and that mayor,
New York, Seattle.
New York, Seattle, all these mayors that have an agenda and they drive it with the city politics. So what do you guys think, taking the city councils, the mayors, the budgets and all that, what do you guys think about how that can affect police hiring and morale?
It 100% affects it. It can tear a department apart. It can destroy a department. Now, for some reason, recently, if you follow any of the police magazines that are out there where they're following police departments, you continue to hear these small police departments that are just quitting in a whole unit. The entire department just quits because there's no backing from their city council. There's no backing from the mayor. And I mean, it's the chief all the way down to the newest officer. They all just quit and leave the job. And it has everything to do with politics going on in these cities.
Yeah, Rob?
Yeah, I mean, you see like the big agencies, people are leaving in droves. Like, NYPD is a good example. They're losing a ton of officers right now because of what's going on up there. And it's like, and it's I would say the city politics, like what's happening now, like people will see, okay, this is how it's going to be like, because obviously the application process is pretty lengthy, depending on what agency you go to or you're applying to, but they know what's going to be coming down the pipeline, the trajectory of where it's going. You look at LA, for example. Karen Bass is pretty much. I mean, I don't know how long she's been there now, but people see, okay, this is where it's going to keep going, and then with the city council and all that, like they know where it's going to be in 5 years. So it's like, okay, do I really want to deal with that?
Yeah, and I think that this whole thing with I don't want to get too into Illy City, but the two apparent mayoral candidates, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good
No.
for LAPD.
No, city sunk.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
either way, because Karen Bass hasn't been able to control attrition and recruitment, and Nithra Raman, whatever her name is, the city council person who nobody knew before the election, all of a sudden she surged ahead of Spencer Pratt. She's a Democrat of Socialist of America who thinks that city policing should be taken over by a lot of city policing jobs should be taken over by civilians, and so that's not a good thing. But let's talk about, and the reason we're bringing this up, guys, is because it's important. On the Police Applicant podcast, we talk all the time about why it's important to not just look at that starting pay and just ignore the health of the department that you're applying for, because you will, if you get on a department that doesn't support the cops, morale is super low. You're working overtime, double shifts, and they don't treat the cops well. You are going to hate your life. You need to pick your departments.
I mean, you bring up a very good point, because I just thought of Torrance PD. So if you've been following Torrance PD, in California, they were offering, I think, was it like either I think it's up to a $50,000 sign-on bonus or $100,000 or some insane amount. And obviously, it's broken up into multiple years, but there's a reason why. Lauren says that
Let's talk about Robin.
Yeah.
She was
Going back to Torrance PD, they're offering an insane, at least last time I checked, a huge sign-on bonus because morale is horrible over there.
Yeah.
Because they can't get people to actually apply.
Yeah. Yeah. We talked about a department in Northern California where they were offering a $75,000 bonus for new hires. And come to find out that the $75,000 was coming from the salaries of the unpaid positions that they were trying to fill.
Jeez.
So I just looked it up quick. Torrance PD, their signing bonus for a lateral police officer is up to $100,000.
Yep. Now, so it is. I feel like it's kind of a bait and switch.
Well, it is, because it's a $50,000 base for lateral hires, which there's a lot of departments doing the $50,000. $20,000 for military vet, $15,000 if you have a specialty, and then there's a whole bunch of other breakdowns on it as well. But they're doing a $20,000 base signing for new police officers in the academy, and then also throwing in an extra 20 for military vets. So
right. So there's a reason why they're doing that.
Right.
I mean, I know a couple of guys that were over there, and their old police chief just absolutely destroyed the department. And then, of course, they're like under the consent decree because of all the scandals that have happened. So, I mean, nobody wants to go there.
Yeah. And you know what? You have to, a lot of candidates, they'll look at these hiring bonuses and they'll think, oh man, look at all the money that I'm going to make and things like that. But I, again, encourage you to look in the news, see if the departments have been in the news, and, see if there's anything, about what officers are saying. So the problem with what I would probably call rogue city councils is that what if you get a city council where there's a bunch of members, just take for instance LA City Council. They don't like the police. They do not like the cops. They'd like to defund them. And they're friends of activists and things like that that don't like the police either. So now they control the budget, the monies that are allocated to the police. How does that affect hiring freezes and academy funding and recruitment?
I mean, for most cities, the police budget is probably the largest.
Right.
So it's easy to go after that budget because okay, it's the largest and it's easy to swing people and to go along with them, saying, "Oh, like they're overfunded, blah blah blah." So, and usually the first thing to go is, the budget to hire new officers because everything else is in a contract. They've already set it in stone for a number of years.
Well, and one thing you see is when you have these city councils who are, how do you say politically correct? They're a woke city council, and they want to try these new things. They'll take they'll shift funds from available officer spots, move them over to, oh, we want to do this new position as far as a civilian
Yep.
mental health professional or whatever. Or we're going to send a mental health professional in to deal with someone who's dealing with a mental health crisis. I don't know anyone want to do that without a gun, but okay.
Yeah.
I've been there. It's scary, but they'll easily shift that stuff. So I always tell people looking at departments, if there's a limited number of positions, find out why, especially nowadays. Back before 2020, back in the early 2000s, late 90s, it's because people wanted to work there. That's why there were limited positions. Did the city council freeze positions? Did monies get shifted around? What's going on? There shouldn't be freezes going on right now because everyone needs officers. But
Right.
that's what happens. They like to play these shell games with these positions in the police department and the funding. And the biggest one is what do they call these guys that are supposed to be mentors for juveniles when it comes to like crime or for gun violence and all that? I've seen that up in Washington a lot, where they hire these people on to be mentors, and they use funding from the police department. They shift funding from officers to these positions, and then that position just randomly disappears after a while because no one wants to talk about what really happened.
Yeah, because it doesn't work.
Right.
All this money.
Right.
Rob, you have anything?
No, I mean, I honestly have no idea. I don't know what positions he's talking about, but I mean, yeah, it's honestly, it's kind of like a shell game where it's like, hey, there's open positions everywhere, but they'll reallocate the money for some new idea and sell it off as like, oh, this is going to work. And it's basically just shifting money around. Like they can't do it openly. So they'll be like, hey, we'll create this new thing and we'll shift this money around so people buy into it.
Yeah. And there's a big, we'll get into this in a minute. Leadership turnover. The problem with this, when you get a new mayor, there's a new agenda. And the promise of this or that, it depends on what the mayor's agenda is, but the promise of we're going to reform the police department, we're going to do this and that and the other thing, it doesn't work like that.
No.
Because if you piss off cops, they're just going to leave. And they're going to go somewhere else that appreciates them. So when you get a new mayor and they start doing stupid stuff, and there's a lot of cities that have done stupid stuff. The mayor from, I'll just give you for instance, the mayor from Denver. Do you guys remember when the mayor of Denver, there was the big thing about ICE going to different liberal cities, blue cities, and they were just causing havoc and things like that. So the mayor of Denver said that he was going to take the police department and he was going to block the roads with them.
Yep.
Yeah. You there, Rob?
I remember that. I know there's been a few cities who have stated similar things. Yeah, that doesn't go over too well.
No. Or you've got the mayors of other cities. They say that they want the police officers to be spies, and they want them to confront federal agents.
Yep.
And they think that
Chief Barnes out of Seattle said that if officers came across any ICE activity, that they needed to record everything with their body cameras. Not engage, just record anything. They see illegal activity, they needed to take action. What?
Yeah. Essentially, I think officers are pawns in the war that's going on in politics.
Yep.
Yeah. And there's no there, like these mayors, they treat the police departments like the police officers like they're little servants for their own personal beefs against whoever.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
You know, and it's like, correct me if I'm wrong, Donovan, but the Seattle mayor said you don't police officers don't arrest in public drug users.
Yes, absolutely.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, because the
Open air drug
mayor,
usage. She doesn't want that. She doesn't want that enforced.
Oh.
and this is how politicians run the police departments, because they say they come up with these little edicts saying that this is what the police are going to do, irregardless of state law or anything else.
hmm
And so, does politics affect how police officers do their jobs? Yeah.
1,000%.
Yeah. I mean, look at what happened up by you, Ken, in an agency outside of Olympia. A new mayor was elected, not a very running down the socialist side of things. And it was put out very upfront that the police chief's contract was going to end as soon as she was sworn into office.
What is that? Because she doesn't like the police chief, you can fire him.
Yep. But now the backpedaling's going on. She's like, well, he said he was going to retire. And, it's, again, you can make your excuses after the fact. We know what happened. A new mayor's coming in. You make a comment, chief's out. He knows what's going on.
Yeah, and so what's the reason this prospective incoming mayor would want to remove a police chief?
Well, I would assume because this police chief actually believed in law enforcement.
Yeah. So she wants a puppet.
Yeah.
It's a puppet, yes.
That's what most appointed mayors kind of are, unfortunately. Or police chiefs.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
if they're appointed by a mayor, they're going to do whatever the mayor says. So,
Well, think about counties that have appointed sheriffs.
yeah.
Why do you have an appointed sheriff? Why did we go to that? Because we want to go ahead and have control over them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's absolutely politics. Yet when you send those drug addicts and homeless to their own town, they want them out. So,
Of course.
yeah, where do they expect them to go? You know?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, a great example from what Lauren's saying and again, I have a lot of my knowledge up in Washington when it comes to elected officials. Governor Inslee, the former governor in Washington, he made it a point to Washington State Patrol that he did not want to see any homeless people when he was driving around. So they would have to do sweeps along the interstate when he'd be making his travels across the state to get rid of these people.
yeah. And those types of things where they're just, and who's going to do this? Who's going to do all this clearing out and stuff like that?
Right.
Not the social workers and things.
No.
So the whole thing with the importance of keeping up on the news with regard to police departments is because it's very important. And it's gotten worse, I feel like, over the years.
Oh, terrible.
Oh, yeah.
It's been terrible.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing is that the police officers will leave. They're leaving, and the police departments are sucking with recruitment because of politics.
Well, remember the old phrase, the grass isn't always greener?
Yeah.
Yep.
Guess what? Some of it's greener.
And there are police departments where they're just very, very popular police departments, and they don't have to offer incentives and things like that. I get asked every once in a while what departments do I recommend, and I need to figure out how to get a list of the ones that are most popular, because I haven't really looked into it.
I mean, my department, the new classes coming in, they actually start in a week. And we're a much smaller department we're one of the biggest in my state, but there's 1,600 officers in my department. New class has 33 people in it.
Jeez.
That's more than
That's
LAPD.
bigger than the LAPD Academy right now.
It is. That's so sad.
Right? Holy
That's
mackerel.
sad. That's terrible. So leadership does does make a big difference. And if you get a chief that's just a puppet
Mhm.
and doesn't back the officers, can you guys think of a chief right now where if somebody starts picking on their officers and they go in front of a news conference, go, you know what, screw you, the officers did right. These are my officers. You can bite me. Are there any chiefs like that out there that stand out?
Does it have to be a chief or can it be a sheriff?
It could be a sheriff.
Yeah,
I'm thinking down in Florida. Is that Grady down in
Judd.
Florida?
Yeah.
Grady Judd.
We ran out of bullets.
Ran out of bullets. Why'd you shoot him so many times? We ran out of bullets. Yeah. He's definitely someone that backs his, and he does. And he does. And I think there's the sheriffs in Florida by and large do that.
Yeah. And one that I can think of, and we've had him on the podcast a couple of times, is Westminster, Colorado. You hear good things about the department. That must mean that judge, that chief is supporting his officers all the time. You're not going to get those people unless you actually have support from your chief.
Yeah. There's I would like to compile a list of departments that are popular and people should go apply. Because right now, if you ask me about, I put this up on Instagram, but if you ask me about LEPD, that's a no-go for me right now.
I just thought of something, Ken. So I was talking to somebody online about LAPD. They were in the process. They passed everything, certified for hire, and then they got non-selected.
Yeah. Why is that happening?
Doesn't fit the mold.
That's why I don't recommend LAPD to anybody anymore.
Yeah, and right now they're off my radar. And our fourth host, Lauren, loves Grady Judd. And I think a lot of people do. And nobody, you know what's funny about that? If you think about Grady Judd, and he comes out and says some wild stuff, and it's good. There's nothing wrong with it, but I don't hear anybody complaining.
No.
I don't think the county is.
Florida's a different place.
Yeah. They actually know how to take care of business and do police work. Another thing that affects policing in your city is public sentiment. What happens if local activists or reformers get in the mix and they decide this is a funny story. Way back in, was it the 2010s? In the 2010s, LAPD has a police commission. And we were doing backgrounds, and this police commissioner said that we were DQing more black candidates than white candidates. So they said, look, we're going to put LAPD officers in there to make sure that everything's being done right. So as it turns out, the LAPD folks that were in there reviewing backgrounds were DQing more people than the civilian background investigators were. And so that didn't work. But the people, the police commissioner that wanted to get this done, he thought he was going to influence the hiring process and skew it a certain way. Well, it doesn't work that way. But it tells you how they can try and influence the hiring process. And so what about one thing that stands out easily when you talk about local activism? BLM. How do you guys perceive that BLM affected police recruitment and how the public sees police officers in the United States?
How it affects police recruitment? Let's think. Memphis, Tennessee.
Happened.
Really. That was pressure from the community to give a certain look to the department and push people through. And it turned out to be a nightmare.
Yep.
And that was all local activism.
Yep. And
I think the other big thing too, like for local activism, is you'll have these people who they're young, they're, they get, I'm not gonna say brainwashed because that's a bad terminology for it, but they, they consider themselves activists. They actually will apply and get on the job and try and change it from within. And I've heard stories about some in LAPD, and it's like, that changes things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so how did activism affect departments around the nation? Defund the police to the tune
Defund.
of
Yep.
millions of dollars.
Yep.
Millions of
Also,
dollars.
why are you being so stringent on them?
Mm-hmm.
We need more people in here.
Yeah.
And there was some of those groups that got departments to lower their standards.
Yep. Lauren, and it's because the bowing down of the politicians to the activists.
Mm-hmm.
And so you need to when you apply for a police department, you need to think about what the culture is from the top down.
Mhm.
So you've got let's say a mayor, let's say Seattle, just for the heck of it. You've got a mayor in
It's
Seattle.
the easy one.
and it's a blue city. And that mayor says, I'm going to appoint this chief, and this chief is going to do my bidding. And then it goes down to recruitment and hiring and who you're going to hire. I remember there's a city council member in Seattle that said that if they were going to lay off officers, they were going to lay off senior Caucasian officers ahead of officers of color, which is
Yes.
so
Yes.
illegal.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But that was this politician, city council member inserting, identity politics and all this stuff into the police, in violation of all kinds of laws. So, so activism not only within the community but within city councils
Yep.
can affect them.
Oh, yeah.
And so you've got a new law that was passed in Los Angeles last month, where the city of LA city council decided, I think it was 15-0, to do away with pretext stops.
Uh-huh.
For anybody that doesn't know what a pretext stop is, I'm following somebody, they have a broken tail light, but I think the car is a little hinky. They're in an area, blah, blah, blah. I know this area, but I have a legal reason. I have probable cause, a legal reason to stop them for the taillight violation. I go up and I talk to them. I've stopped cars and I get up to the driver and there's a sawed-off shotgun on the front seat next to the driver who's an ex-con. So he goes to jail. I don't give a crap about the broken taillight, but I get a bad guy and a gun off the street. So LA City Council decided to insert themselves into this because people of color were being stopped disproportionately by police officers. So now, I don't know, Ted Bundy was caught. The serial killer Ted Bundy was caught. Ted,
Expired
what is his?
registration.
Yep.
Yep.
Ted, what's his name? Kaczynski or whatever his name, the Oklahoma bomber? Or was that the other
Timothy
guy?
McVeigh.
Timothy McVeigh was stopped on a pretext stop.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
There's
a good way to put it, because this is when it first started coming out, I think I was still with LAPD. There was in all these neighborhoods like Studio City, Encino, what would happen, there was these criminal groups from Chile would fly in on a Friday, rent a car, go
Mhm.
get it tinted at like the Slauson swap meet or something like that. They would go Saturday night, break into all these homes and all that, steal a bunch of stuff, and then they would like either dump the car, return it after hours or whatever, and then fly back to Chile on Sunday. So when it comes to pretext stops, they were renting cars, so it wasn't like, we knew which car it was or whatever. But the reason for if somebody was cruising around at night and, there's a couple of people in there, they're probably up to no good. But the only reason we could stop them was because of tinted windows. Nothing else really. We had no other PC to stop them. But now officers see that they can't stop them for the tinted windows to investigate it further.
Well, hold on.
All right.
They can stop them for the tinted
Yes.
windows.
Oh, of course they can. But if they stop them and with the purpose to investigate,
No,
like
no,
who's in
hold
the
on.
car.
There's no other purpose. You're stopping them for the tinted windows.
Okay. All right.
Are you talking about the city of LA?
Yes.
I'm just saying.
I know what
Can
Donovan's saying.
they stop them for the tinted windows? Is it legal to
Legally,
stop them
yes.
for the and
This
if
is
they
where
and if they stumble upon something else, they stumble upon something else.
So what's happening is there's precedent. I believe, I don't know if there's case law or whatever about pretext stops, but it's legal. It's a perfect legal tool to use. But the city council comes in and goes, nah, not in our town.
U.S. Supreme Court says it's legal. State of Washington, our courts have said that there is no such thing as a pretext stop.
What does that mean? You can't use it?
You stop someone for tinted windows.
Oh, so it's they're in support of the not pretext stop. Is that
Sure.
what you're saying?
Yes. So you stop them for the reason you're stopping them for.
It doesn't matter. There's no name for it.
If you stumble upon something else, you stumble upon something else.
Oh well.
Is Rob froze?
can you guys hear me?
Oh, we
I
can now.
I can hear you. You look
I
like
have
a portrait.
no idea what happened to my camera.
I don't know. You're there. That's a better view, Rob.
There you go.
Rob's having a,
I like
Rob's
that one
having a little
better.
problem, man.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. I don't know what happened to my camera. Oh well, let's keep it
It's
like
stress
this.
of the academy coming through.
Yes, it is.
Let us know in the comments, guys, in the questions in the comments, what you think about city councils inserting themselves into police work. These are people who come in from the city. Who knows what they were doing before they became city council people. They became city council people, and all of a sudden they're experts in police work. And so let us know what you think about that. Hiring standards.
Hold on, Ken. Also, let us know which image of Rob you like better, the one that was on at the beginning of the show or the one that's currently up.
Our most vocal supporter, Lauren, tell us what you think about Rob's current picture.
There you go.
And if you like this one or you like his other one, Rob, where did you go?
I have no idea. All of a sudden, my screen went blank, and like a couple seconds passed, all of a sudden it came back on, but my camera's not working. So I'm like, all right, whatever.
It's better that everything goes blank here rather than when you're taking a test. How's that?
Well, I have
true.
I have bad news for our viewers. Rob just went to heaven. See you in heaven, Rob.
Yep.
What was I going to say? Oh, hiring standards.
Yeah.
Can politics affect hiring standards one way or another?
Yeah, we kind of touched on that, but yeah, it absolutely can.
Yeah. So what happens when a politician comes in and goes, I don't like your drug standards, I don't like your hiring standards, I don't like everything that you do. Does the department stand up and go, you know what? We're in charge of backgrounds and hiring?
Depends upon who your leadership is.
Let's talk about maybe some blue cities, which we won't name.
Absolutely not. Tuck their tail and say yes, however it is.
We'll do whatever you want.
Yeah, I mean, how else did our drug standards continue to drop?
Well,
How did they continue to get lowered? I like that.
There you go. I'll take it.
We have one vote for Black Rob. You know what? That's gonna be his new nickname, Black Rob. Black Rob.
Oh,
and they go, why are you calling a white guy Black Rob? Because it's a long story.
Yep.
That's a long story. And I think for the pretext stops, I think Job or Joe is talking about. You're talking about.
That's Lauren's comment about the pretext stops.
What did the city accomplish by getting rid of pretext stops?
What did the city accomplish by what they
More
did
crime?
was they accomplished taking a tool out of the bag of police officers, so more criminals can what's the point of having so you can't stop someone for registration. It's not registered anyways. DMV is going to put a fine or what do they call it? A penalty on it. Anyway, it's not going to get more because they don't pay for it.
Right.
You can't stop them for that. Just throw the penal the vehicle code out the window. It doesn't matter anymore.
I mean, it really just seems like some of these city councils want more crime in their communities by taking all this stuff away from police. It just, how else do you explain it?
Rob is shy. Rob, if you
Exactly.
remain unseen, at least say something controversial. Rob, you've been put on notice to be.
Yep.
Let's hear it, Rob. What's the controversial thing?
What's
Come
the
on.
controversial thing you want to say?
Where you want me to start?
Anyway,
Lord.
good.
If I go off, Kim might get banned from YouTube.
Oh, I don't know about that. I think actually Donovan and I used to be a lot worse a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about these pretext stops, Rob? I think are we still doing that?
Are we?
Or-
I mean, I
are
was
we
always
still-
in favor of pretext stops because it was a great way to find out who's in the car, but apparently can't do that anymore. So I probably would have gotten into a lot of trouble if I was still with LA.
You probably would have gotten it if you're still in LA.
Yes.
I think so. Let's talk about DEI.
Uh-oh.
Community representation goals. When city councils push for demographic balance, how does that shape applicant pools? Before Donovan loses his mind on this one, I just want to say that that I put up a post maybe a week or two ago about 30-30 didn't work. Hiring to gender or sexual orientation goals didn't work, and now recruitment is suffering because you focused on these DEI candidates and they're not coming in, and now you can't turn it around. Donovan, what do you think about community representation goals?
I'm going to tell you, I have a lot of pride this month saying this.
Uh-oh.
That it goes back to, do you want quantity or do you want quality?
There you go.
Quantity over quality. You tell me, what do you want? Quantity, quality. When I was doing backgrounds and I was pushing people through, that was my mantra to my admin all the time. When they would say, hey, we need more of this nor that, quantity or quality. And there was a time that I was receiving a lot of grief from officers because there was a portion of time, I think it was pretty close to a year, that I was hiring more females over males.
Mm-hmm.
Because we were just getting more quality female candidates than male candidates. It should balance itself out. But what is going on in these internal communities not wanting these people or making these people not want to apply? Because when you look at, we always had to do numbers every year. The number of applications from the minority groups were always so minimal compared to the white population. So how do you get people from minority groups interested? We can't hire if we don't have the people to go to an applicant pool to bring them in. So if they want us to hire and they're going to keep these quotas on departments, they're going to have to lower their standard, which is going to put us in a very, very dangerous environment, AKA Memphis. Yes, that was my outside voice.
Was that Memphis?
It was Memphis.
Oh man. Let's see here. Taking these questions in order. Have you seen police chiefs in the past navigate a new mayor or other politicians? Issues between red and blue states county. I'm not sure I understand that question.
I think what he's asking, or he or she, I don't know, is like, if, like, let's, use the example of LAPD. If a new mayor comes in, how they navigate the new mayor who has new agendas, new viewpoints, new standpoints, whatever the case is, how they navigate the way they were doing things, and now with the new mayor with new agenda, how they navigate doing the job then.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I had a great deputy chief in this regards. When we got the city council would continue to roll over where I was, and it would have different influences coming in. He's like, I will just give them all the facts and they can make their decisions from that. So he went in and he would just lay out all the facts and let the council decide. Because what more can a chief or a deputy chief do when you're in administration and you have these elected officials saying that they want you to do specific things? You can push back, but it's not going to do any good. You're just not going to have a job anymore.
Right.
I like that.
I'm gonna call him Black Rob from now on. Black Rob. Black Rob, do you have anything?
I mean, usually when a new mayor comes in, the police chief is gone.
It's like we're talking to AI, Ken, because that circle keeps getting bigger when he talks.
This circle. Okay. What is that? Like that. Okay, I'm sorry, Black Rob. Go.
Woosa, woosa.
I'm sorry, man. Ooh. Let's try it again.
You
Black Rob, go.
I was just saying, usually when a new mayor comes in, the current police chief, if they don't immediately adhere to the agenda of the new mayor, they're usually gone pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's pretty safe. Yeah.
So what do you guys think about certain police chiefs that come in and they're puppets of the mayor?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about them? Do you have, knowing full well that they're going to come in and they're just going to go, okay, sure, we'll do that. You know, do you have any respect for them?
Absolutely not.
Uh-uh.
They're there just to save their job. That's all they're doing.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah. That's all it is. I just think that sucks a lot. Now that I'm better now.
You're back to reality, Ken.
Yeah. And here's another big thing. Union dynamics, a tug of war between political optics and procedural fairness. The one of the big things is unions. There was a big deal with Seattle. What do they call it? Police Officers Guild or something?
Police Officers Guild, SPOG.
What do you remember that story that just came out recently about them?
Yeah. Well, that was the open air drug usage.
But they said that somebody accused them of something, and they said we didn't say that or something like that. Or do you remember that?
I don't remember that. Let me see.
It just came out recently. Are you going to research it?
I will while we talk. Yes, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah. So Donovan's going to check that out. But the thing is, though, you've got police unions that get involved. And if a police department says, hey, we're going to do this, and the police union comes in and goes, no, you can't do that. We have a contract and like that. Rob, do you know about that stuff?
I mean, a little bit. LAPD is going through that right now with the whole mayor election because, for those that don't know, the LAPD's union, they will issue out, like during election time, who they're throwing their support behind. Usually it's never the same people that the officers support.
Yeah.
So, and there's always a tug of war between that, and it's like officers get disgruntled because it's like, all right, well, we're putting money into their union, and then you guys are backing somebody who doesn't who's actually gonna be bad for us.
Yeah. And in politics, what does it say? Politics makes strange bedfellows. Did you find that article?
I did. That was over the use of the cameras at the World Cup. The Police Officers Guild put out on their social media a comment that was derogatory to the mayor regarding her decision on not turning the cameras on. And the mayor's office contacted the Police Officers Guild and said that they need to remove that comment immediately.
Right.
Ooh.
And the guild laughed at them. And the comment did not come down, and the mayor's office figured out, oh, wait, they have free speech. We can't tell them what to do.
Yeah, because union officers are not working on city time and all that kind of stuff, and you can't tell them what to do like they're an employee. But the mayor's office thought they were going to order the police guild to take down a comment. They go, no, we're not going to do that.
Yep. And they had a turmoil too between the guild and the mayor regarding anything regarding ICE. They've had a couple of controversies where the union came out and said, if there is some sort of an assault on an ICE agent, we will step in.
Mhm.
And the mayor's office said, no, you won't. And there's a big back and forth over that.
Yeah, because there's something called the law
Mhm.
and a police officer's duty, things like
That's
that
true.
that you can't politicize. What, Rob?
I would say that's very true. Like, I mean, we're dealing with that over here. It's like we will not get involved with any ICE like interaction, whatever. But yeah, if they call for us, then we'll show up. Like, because it's not necessarily like it's keeping everybody safe.
Yeah.
Mhm. Right.
Yeah, and for the LA City mayor's race, the people were pretty upset that that the union, the Police Protective League, which is the LAPD union, that they had backed Karen Bass for mayor instead
Yeah,
of Pratt.
I don't know about. I have no idea why they would.
Well, it's politics because they
Mhm.
got a big raise from Bass
Mhm.
and a contract and things like that. So it comes down to money, and sometimes you get stuck in the middle.
Yep.
Right.
I would highly recommend you also, if you're applying for any police department, to look into the union activity and see if they're a strong union or not.
Mhm.
Traditionally, LAPD's union is pretty strong. They wield a lot of political power, and so they're a strong union. But there are some unions, you've got NYPD who come out and talk smack to the politicians all the time.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Because they're a huge union too. But there are some cities, maybe their unions are smaller. Maybe they don't go toe to toe with City Hall.
Right.
That's something you want to find out about. Here's a big deal too. How do politics affect when when use of force becomes an issue, and the city council or whoever decides, oh, now the police officers can't do this, can't do that. What do you guys think about that? Politics being inserted in use of force and how police officers do their jobs. Anybody?
Rob.
Black Rob?
I mean, so you're talking about like when there's a use of force within a department, like the politics surrounding it. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you have that a lot in LA, just in virtually almost every officer involved shooting. I know of a couple of them that got pretty heated, and I mean, luckily it turned out fine for the officers, but it very well could have not. I know one that technically it was 100% justified, but the family and there was protests against her because of the shooting, for who she was and just the politics around it.
Yeah.
Well, and you look at departments, during 2020 when all the riots were going on, city council's coming out saying you can't use tear gas, you can't use flashbangs, you can't do this, taking away the tools that actually control those
Yep.
uprisings, took them away. And then officers were being injured all the time because of it.
Yeah, the tools that can protect officers and the citizens, they're going to take it away because we don't like it.
Right.
There was a few weeks back, there was a video that the LA City Council president had taken a video of a traffic stop, and he said that the officer stopped him because he was black, and he was saying LAPD is racist and all these kind of things that he was saying, and then it turns out that it wasn't LAPD that stopped him, it was LA school police.
Yep.
But he had already slammed LAPD for being racist, and this is this city council president. So how do you think that affects how policies are made, and how do you think the pretext stop came to an end for LAPD? Exactly.
I mean,
Thank you.
I find it kind of funny that he's on the city council, yet he doesn't have a clue what the LAPD uniforms look like. Like, LAPD uniforms don't have patches. LA School Police does.
Yeah. Yeah, this news is just popping in recently within probably the last hour. Spencer Pratt just got eliminated from the mayor's race in LA by
There's no hope for LA.
There's not.
by LA City.
Mm-hmm.
By because this is going to affect LAPD well into the World Cup,
Yep.
the NFL Super Bowl, and the 2028 Olympics.
Mhm.
And you're gonna and I predict, here it is, June 8th, 2026. Ken predicts the Olympics are going to be problematic.
Yep.
Well, that's a given, Ken. That's like,
Before
I mean,
this.
that's not really a prediction when everyone knows it's going to be true.
Black Rob, I'm trying to be a prophet here, and you just ruined it. Just ruined it, man.
I'm supporting you, Ken. I'm
Thank
supporting
you.
you. I marked it down at 6:05 p.m. as well.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And we'll revisit this when
Okay. Yes.
the city's on fire and everything.
Mhm.
Do Leos only have protection and strong backing for changes in pay or benefits when the union is a good union? Oh, that's a good question.
It's going to depend upon the state
Yeah.
and what the union rules are for the state. I know in Wisconsin, the union rules are very tight as far as what a union can get involved in and what they can't. Generally, it's just pay and benefits that they're able to negotiate. But you look at, again, and I'll go back, I keep going back to Seattle Police Department because the union's strong and the union pushes back. Now, Mayor Wilson said that there was a credible, unverified threat that turned the cameras on. We know why the cameras are getting turned on for the World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
She got so much pressure and she didn't have the backing from the union. Everyone knew those cameras were going to get turned on. That's a strong union. They're going to look out for what's best for their people. All through 2020, there were good unions fighting for their officers who were having bogus claims against them for excessive use of force. So it's not just paying benefits majority of the time. If you have a state that is a union state and it's a good union, they're going to back their officers, not only just paying benefits, but protecting them from the bad forces from outside.
Yeah. And Rob, do you remember, there's still a police officer's Bill of Rights in California, right?
Yep.
So the LAPD union, the Protective League, and I'm sure all other unions, LASD and all the big players in law enforcement politics, are there to protect the officers. Like the law enforcement police officers Bill of Rights in California has all kinds of stuff that protects officers, and they don't only negotiate pay and benefits, but also there's protection. They provide attorneys for the officers and go to bat for them in a lot of areas. And usually the unions are the ones that come in and go, hey, you know what, you guys are out of line, and this and that. And they go to war with the city. One of the things about the LAPD union is those directors, I don't know how many they are, 6 maybe, something like that. They're police officers of different ranks that are elected to office. They are then, I think they're taken off the city payroll and they're paid. Wait, they're not taken off the city payroll. Yeah, they're on the city payroll, but the city's reimbursed by the union dues for their salaries and benefits and stuff. And so they are full-time union representatives, and that's their job. But it's also very political. It's very, very political.
Absolutely.
So, but the big unions are, sometimes they can be militant, sometimes they can be wishy-washy. It depends on who's in office. But yeah, that's a good question. You guys have anything to add on that?
None of that, but let's go back to that question about what was the use of force, where you talk about a city under scrutiny. And you want to talk about a department who did the right thing, stood up, is, when DOJ gets involved because they get all these complaints and then they're put under these agreements, right? A department isn't forced to go under those agreements. A department has to agree to do that, to go under that oversight while DOJ investigates. Phoenix PD, what was it, 2021, 2022? DOJ came in and said, hey, we have a lot of complaints. Our investigation shows that you're using too much force. Phoenix said, no, I don't think so. You're not coming in. We don't need your oversight.
I didn't know they could reject that.
You have to agree to them coming in. And eventually what happened, I think wasn't last year, I think it was the year before. Phoenix, I think, agreed to some sort of technical assistant saying that, they're going to voluntarily do some reforms or whatever. DOJ came in, reinvestigated everything, and
Yep.
decided that, well, I guess we were wrong. There really isn't an issue here, and moved
Really?
on. Phoenix just dug their heels in and said, no, we're not going to listen to this, because how many during 2020 and after that, how many DOJ letters were sent that they needed to get involved with it? And it's a financial grab. That's all it is. These people who come in from DOJ, they're contractors, and they charge these cities, and they make a lot of money off of it. And generally, there's normally nothing out of the ordinary from other police departments. It's just
I'm reading an article right now. It
Mhm.
was from June of 2024, saying the DOJ published a report from a 30-month pattern or practice investigation into the city of Phoenix and Phoenix Police Department, and said they actually violated or
Yep.
found civil rights violations.
I'm looking at one right now. 2025, DOJ announced it was closing the investigation and retracting its earlier findings.
Weird.
Yep.
There was an uptick in consent decrees and
Mhm.
DOJ investigations during Biden's administration.
Yep.
And LAPD was under a consent decree for 5 years.
Yep.
After what was it? What was it after? It was after. So it was 2000. So it must have been as a result of Rodney King.
Was it Rodney King or
was it
Rampart
no,
scandal?
Rampart? It was Rampart.
Yeah.
And so that was a consent.
Mhm.
They had to consent to it.
Right. Yeah. And that's all those are. Those are just consent. That's all they ever are, is a consent decree. You have to consent to having them come in, give them access. Phoenix said absolutely not happening.
I didn't know they could do that. That's pretty cool.
Well, that's why they call it a consent decree. You have to consent to it.
Yeah. So the bottom line is you guys need to research your departments, look at the politics, look at the morale of the department, look at if politicians are screwing things up and how much influence. Recently, Minneapolis, the police chief, who was a complete, what's the word?
Tool?
Clown. Yeah, tool.
I'll say he's a lost soul.
He had to resign in lieu of, I think, of termination because he lied during an IA or something like that.
Yes, when he was being investigated for naughty things.
Uh-oh.
Naughty things. But he had gone on, and he was just with regard to ICE and all that kind of stuff, and he was just a militant. He was a militant police chief, political police chief.
Yep.
And he's just one example of somebody that you may want to research that city before you apply there.
Well, but that's why when I talk to candidates, I always tell them, get out there, try to find. Almost every city council, county council is out there recording their meetings.
Yeah.
Where you can watch them, see what's going on, so you have a good understanding of what's happening. But that's why the ride along is so important. The officers on the street doing ride alongs are going to tell you more than what a background investigator or recruiter is ever going to tell you.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, we hope this helps you guys, because a lot of people don't, when they apply for the police departments, their eyes get bugged out because they look at the salaries and things like that, not knowing why if there's a department that's on a constant on status where they're hiring, hundreds of officers per year, and it's just constant like that all the time. Why is that? Because they're not keeping officers.
Yep.
Right.
You want to go to a department that has a good reputation that the cops like, and there's all kinds. I mean, Google is your friend. Google is your friend to find out about all that stuff. If you have any questions for us, let us know. I think that's it. I think that was a good show, right?
That was a great show.
It was.
Yeah. And so for myself and Donovan and Black Rob, thank you so much for sticking with us and watching. If you have any questions, throw them in the comments after. We have no more comments in the chat, and we're going to see you guys next week.
Yep.